Hello, good morning, everybody. It's Monday, and happy Monday to you. And I hope you all have started your day with a good attitude for a good week, and you have your coffee and Starbucks, whatever you do, and ready to go. And I am all set to go for the week. So I will. This is my podcast for this week, and I am going to talk about today a little bit about how um, I use my practice at my work, and so sometimes when we get on with our day-to-day lives and we get caught up with our routines, patterns, and it happens to anybody, and it could happen any day. And when that happens, it can be energy draining, and it can lead to mis uh, beliefs that people think that we can enjoy life. My life is the same and it doesn't change, and I do exactly the same thing every day. And some people don't like it. Some people don't enjoy it, and we all like a variety. We like to wear different clothes. We like to hear different songs. We like to drive different cars, and even though it's not easy all the time, but that's our nature, and we have to accept it, and we have to be okay with it because it's who we are. Um, but sometimes it's not always easy, and we just caught up with things, and life is just become on a track. It just feel like it's exactly the same. And but I look at it in a different way. I think life is actually not exactly the same way each day, each moment, since I believe in um, change. And I think it's each day it's different actually. But sometimes there are certain things, like with our job situation, and how do you manage your day to day these things, and how do we look at it with a different perspective, and how can we enjoy life even though doing the exact same thing. It's very important to think about these things and talk about these things and have a new perspective about things every day. If you can wake up each day as a new person, it's going to be a good day, and I'm going to do this. And it's not that easy. I mean, easier said than done. It's just that simple. But we can still make an effort to change our lives, how we look at things, how we do things, and it's very important. Otherwise, we get actually stressed out, and that stress going to build up, and it's ultimately at the end it can lead us to other complications. And this is something that I see in Western cultures, because we are so caught up with these patterns. And sometimes patterns are good. Sometimes for some people it's very important. For like the population that I work with, last 6 years I've been working with developmentally challenged people, and they actually need a structure. They need a pattern, and because their thinking ability is very limited. So if they don't have a pattern and they really don't know what to do, and to get up in the morning, get dressed, and do this, do that, and they have to have a chronological order. And so sometimes some people people who are intellectual don't have any barrier with intellectually like that, um, like you maybe and me, and we can do things a little bit different, and some people don't have that ability, and so we have to be grateful for that. So So if you go to a monk and or your spiritual counselor or your guide and you ask, I am really tired with all this situation, my job and my life, going to school and doing things, and they would say, well, you have to be more mindful, practice mindfulness, and you go to a therapy. And but I've been taught this for a long time, but I thought, is that enough with my new job situation? If I use that as an example, and I have this new case, and I work with this particular individual, and he has an obsession with electronics, and he wants to move to a different house. And so each day he would talk to me hours and hours about his move and things that he wants, but it's exactly the same thing every day, hours and hours. And he would just literally sit by me or stand in front of me, and he would talk and talk and talk, and it can be energy draining, and you might feel like this is wasting your time. But on the other hand, I understand it's my job, and when I do that, how I manage still to be happy with a unhappy situation like that. Think about for a moment, if you have to listen to exactly the same thing every day. Think about it. It's like on the television, you turn on Monday, you have this news and the broadcast, and you do it. You turn it on Tuesday, and exactly the same thing. And you go by the whole week, and it's exactly the same news. So you know, if you listen to CNN or Fox News, by the end of the day, you get really tired after this repetition of the exact same news over and over and over. So it's exactly the same situation. But I am being mindful, and I try to be very mindful, very cautious about it. And I listen to him. I take time. I absolutely take times and listen to him. And I really love working with them because it's very rewarding. And I have learned so many lessons. And I love how they love unconditionally, also without expectations. Like they are so used to this, they just love their um, helpers, and then once they're gone, they understand they're gone, and they don't have any expectation, they don't cry over it, and they just get on with their lives with the new person. And it's, I think, a remarkable thing that some of us can't do, and we get so attached. And so it's kind of, I like the idea because that's where I believe in love, and we can love somebody unconditionally, and it's still, when the time comes, that we can let go. That's what I believe. You don't have to believe it, but that's the way I think. So it's kind of like makes sense to me, and so that this population really inspire me that way. I would say. So I'm being mindful, and mindfulness is the key actually, and being aware of your situation, and you stuck in your office and paperwork that you do, and parenting and taking care of your two kids and getting them ready in the morning and take them to the bus and waiting for them and cleaning up their mess after them. And so whatever you do, and maybe it's your driving routine or everything, and the routine, as I said, can be very beneficial. I really like that what President Barack Obama said. He said that if you notice that whenever he give a speech or something, and he has kind of like exact same type of suits that he wear. And so when somebody asks why he has this, his idea is that he has more other important things to pay attention. So he has picked out like two or three kind of exact same kind of suits, so that he can just put on it and he don't have to worry about selecting his dress and things like that. So he's very I think it's a very a cool thing. Anyway, so when I'm being mindful with my situation, and that's not enough, and still you can get burnout, so I have to um, have love, compassion, kindness, tremendous, a lot. We need a lot of it. So these things, kindness, compassion, love, is actually we can develop, and it's paying attention, being aware of things, and the next thing that you have to remember is, well, I have to be kind. I have to be. It's a you have to force yourself to do it, and when you force yourself to do it, and you can do it when you have hard time, difficult situation, and when you take time to think about it, and we can absolutely do it. So the kindness, that's very important, and it's a very important aspect of our path, how to live our lives. And in psychology, that they talk about positive psychology, actually they say that you have to be kind to yourself, and it's a very scientific thing, and it's a good way to approach to our day-to-day life, day-to-day situations. And sometimes that's not enough. When you have a situation like that, you feel like you are stuck with it, and you have to be creative. And so my client, he likes to think about things like that. He likes to be a little bit creative with things. And so yesterday, when he's trying to do his laundry, and he had all these excuses, and so I came up with the idea. Well, then what we're going to do is we're going to air dry our clothes today. And so he really loved it, and he did it, and he's very proud of it. And so just being a little bit creative with the situation, that whatever we have, and we can make a difference, we can make a difference in our lives, and we it can ease out our situation. So I think it's very important to be mindful, and to be um, loving, unconditionally kind and compassionate, and also to be creative. So the with meditation, this is something that we have to remember, because when the meditation word comes to our mind, is that the image that comes to our mind is a cross-legged person with closed eyes, and a still person. But you have to remember that when these teachers talked about meditation, everything is meditation. It's about developing awareness. It's about cultivating your mind. So in order to cultivate your mind, you always don't have to sit, and that's how not life works. And life is beyond sitting. So Buddha explained in his words, "Gate tite nisine sutte jagate." So when you walk, when you sit, when you eat, when you sleep, and when you lay down, all this time you can pay attention, and you can be creative, and you can so that way you don't routinize, and you don't get into a pattern. So if you get into a pattern, you wouldn't be able to enjoy it anymore. And when I did my 85-day silent retreat last year, so my goal was to sit at least 14-15 hours a day, and which I did. I think I after I did math after my retreat, I sat about 11 to 12 hours per day. But there are another 12 hours that I had to do different things, and I ran, and I did yoga, and I walked, and I played with the dog a little bit. So there are things that I included to my practice, but still I was mindful, and you can be mindful doing things. And so being creative with what you do and learning how to enjoy it, being kind to the situation that you are that you're going through, maybe be kind to yourself, towards you tremendously a lot, um, feeling that love, kindness towards yourself. And if it's the other person that maybe it's your coworker, maybe it's your manager, your boss, and somebody that you live with, maybe your boyfriend, your partner, and it could be anybody. And so having that sense of love, kindness, unconditionally, and it helps, and it's something that we have to remember each day, every day, when we do things, when we get up. And this is just a quick reminder that you have to have in the morning when you wake up, and that can make the difference. And then being creative, and each day when you do things, just do it a little bit differently, and find a different way to do it. And that way, breaking that routine, breaking that pattern, we can create a huge difference in our lives. So it's, I think, very important. And so I wanted to share it with you today how I deal with my work. And sometimes people think being a monk that it comes very natural to us. It's not. It's a work in progress, and I struggle. I have my own struggles, but I manage to do things, and I am trying to be mindful every day. And I still make mistakes, and as I post on the Monk on the Go page, and so there are things that happen, but it's not the end of the life. And I make mistakes and I move on. And so this is my lesson today, and be mindful and be kind to yourself and kind to your environment, your surrounding, and be compassionate and be creative. And whether you meditate or whether you work or whether you're parenting or whether you drive, whatever you do, just keep those three things in mind, and you can find ways to enjoy things. And I hope this will help you to get through the week. And I will come up with a new podcast next week. Thank you, and you all have a wonderful week.